Welcome to the Diamond Hands podcast, where medicine meets momentum and branding becomes a leadership system. I'm Leslie Tracey, co-founder of Diamond Hands Media. I build aesthetic brands that lead, with a background in employee benefits and business finance, so brand becomes authority and asset value. This is mindset, money, and marketing for founders building brands that run without them. Because brand isn't a logo, it's how you lead.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Diamond Hands podcast. Today I am joined by my lovely friend Yvonne Dellos, NP. So she has quite the litany of experience, but she has exited multiple aesthetic businesses. Her recent one being Aesthetic ER and also Aesthetic Co. a few years ago. She is a best-selling author from Food Stamps to Fortune, and she also has two conferences that she runs that we're going to talk about a little bit later. And so thank you so much for being with us today, Yvonne.
Always my pleasure.
Yeah, so she just came back from like a nice trip. We don't have to get into it right now. But she just came back from a nice trip. So if you guys are following the news, because I'm going to release this very soon after, she was in Mexico. Believe that. Yes. So what I really want to explore with you, because, I read your book and it's lovely or whatever. So, you went from like food stamps, Yvonne, to building and exiting multiple med spas and, founding the Medical Aesthetic Art Institute and Aesthetic ER. And now I really have loved to see what you've been doing, working with and mentoring women to really create fortune on their own terms. So can we kind of like go back to the beginnings? I want to focus on, of course, your beginnings, building and selling practices. I want to talk about and Aesthetic ER a little bit, what you did there. And then, of course, your coaching and mentorship. So let's go back to the beginning.
Yeah, that all kind of sounds like ADD in a nutshell.
But most entrepreneurs are kind of ADD, right? Yeah, like there's so much going on and then you make it into something.
Yeah. So growing up, my mother, so going back, she had gotten married and had 4 kids. And then unfortunately she was divorced, got pregnant with me. So I was told my whole life I was a mistake. And I wasn't the cause of her pain. I was the consequence, right? Many of us live life with unresolved issues, insecurities, traumas, limiting beliefs, labels. And for 40 years, I carried the label, I was a mistake. And it dawned on me that I don't have to carry that, right? I don't have to accept that agreement that was passed to me. So grew up with my mom and 5 sisters, grew up on welfare. Our neighbors would give us hand-me-down clothes. The church would bring us food. And that was our norm. College was never a conversation in our home. And I remember going to my mom and telling her that I was going to become a nurse practitioner and get my master's degree. And she looked at me and she's like, well, don't you have to be smart to do that? But again, understanding her capacity and her cognitive level, she truly functions on a 7-year-old level. And I try to give her grace and as much love and understanding and patience as I can. But what I've learned from Oprah Winfrey is that a 5-gallon bucket sized person would drown a shot glass sized person, and a shot glass sized person will never fill a 5-gallon bucket sized person. And I'm not saying I'm better than anyone, but my mind and my consciousness is expanded and evolved so that I can have grace for other people and be more consciously aware of others and their limiting beliefs and their insecurities and their pains when they pass them on. It's up to us to not accept that.
Yeah.
But we won't. We will accept it if we don't know who we are and have boundaries and self-love and self-respect. So long story short, she was in a relationship when I was a teenager. Her husband at the time didn't like me, and so he kicked me out of the house at 14. So at 14, I was left to live on friends and family members' couches, and I dropped out of school in the 9th grade.
Wow.
So when I walked into a family clinic seeking birth control and STD screening, it was my family nurse practitioner that looked at me and truly saw me for a human being. She didn't label me. She didn't judge me. She didn't try to fix my life, but she really just held space for me. And she's the reason where I am today. She planted that seed in me subconsciously, and enough belief that, because I'd always wanted to be a cheerleader. So she instilled enough belief in me to get back into school. And I ended up on the dance team with her daughter my junior year and a senior cheerleader my senior year. And then I just kind of kept going. I was like, okay, well, if I achieve that, what else can I achieve? So I kept going to school and kept learning and growing and finding mentors and books, and had no business starting a business. And I did. In 2015, I started Results Medical Aesthetics and Weight Loss. I was a new nurse practitioner. And I built that over 8 years and rebranded and renamed it to Aesthetico Heber. And I sold that in March of 2023 to one of our students. So that was the first business I sold. Then in 2018, I saw a need in the industry. I didn't have great training. I had a 4-hour training. It was an entire staff training, front desk, manager, injector. And I was like, we need much better training than this. So I started Medical Aesthetic Art Institute in 2018.
Yes, and that's still going strong.
Still going strong. And then in 2019, I saw another need in the industry. After training so many med spas, offices, providers, there were not protocols or emergency kit. So I registered, trademarked, and created Aesthetic ER and built that to almost $1 million and ended up selling that to Courtney Wilson in San Diego. She bought that in November. In 2020, I started Aesthetico St. George, which I sold 2 weeks ago. I have a satellite office in Las Vegas, which we're teaching out of tomorrow. And then I had a Tony Robbins coach say to me, Yvonne, when are you going to quit speaking on everyone else's stage and start speaking on your own? And I'm like, that's a challenge. I love a challenge. And I'm like, okay, sure, I'll start a conference. Had no idea what I was doing. So I just started it. And here we are, year 5. And I think you're back. You're back for year 5. And really what my summit is, it truly is a family reunion. It's my selfish way of seeing all my students pouring into my community, building and raising up our students. And so that's been really successful because it's so rewarding. And in 2023, I started the Women's Her Success Summit. And that's been so fun and empowering. And that really came about because I do so much business coaching. And my business coaching, yes, it's business coaching, but it's so much more mindset. You get these calls all the time. They'll take a training or they'll have built a med spa and they're floundering because medical providers, we don't have business education. But it's like I got a call last night from a brilliant provider. She's a PA. She's a nurse practitioner. She runs like major neurosurgery trauma, life-saving traumas. Like this girl is amazing, brilliant, but she can't get over the hurdle and the fear of doing injections on her own. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, girl, let's get you out of your head first and foremost. And that's really where everyone gets stuck. Because I've met women that have made millions, like 50 million, and they still carry insecurity, limiting beliefs, labels, judgment, self-sabotage, like, how can anyone be happy living from that perspective?
Well, I mean, I think the most successful people have the biggest monster on their back, actually. And I don't think that's talked about enough.
True.
I think, because it's like 2 sides of the coin. It's like, well, damned if you do, damned if you don't. So bad mindset, fair, one side, but then on the other side about the success, there's also fear of being a loser, fear of, and so it's just 2 sides of the coin many times.
Sure.
I have found.
And I would have to admit that I did build a lot of my businesses and wealth off of a trauma response of not being enough or trying to prove myself, right?
Yep, that's the biggest one.
But then the clarity came and I was like, what are we doing? Because the biggest enemy is this. If you don't master it. But the most beautiful life is on the other side of that. Once you learn to master this, It does not matter how much money you have. It does not matter how big your home is. None of that matters. Peace, bliss,
Mhm.
self-love, self-respect.
Mhm. Yeah, those are
Yeah.
the big things. I mean, it's something that I've been talking to a lot with, a lot of my friends lately. It's just like holding space for the dark sides of yourself,
Yeah.
and because like that woman held space for you. If she
Mhm.
didn't hold space for the little darkness she saw in front of her, and she was like, I see more than this,
Mhm.
you might have been stuck there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Isn't that so crazy
So
how
true.
it's like these relationships that we have. So I don't have it pulled up, but there was in relationship theory, like everyone's a node, right? Every person you meet is a node, is a network. And from that one person, you're connected to all different types of people, but each person you interact with represents a new reality that you could step into.
Yeah, and
Right?
that's exactly what my keynote is all about, is the impact
Mm,
we have on others. We can uplift and inspire, or we can really break down and harm someone if we're
yes.
not intentional with who we are and how we show up.
Yes. And that's a big thing, being intentional
Mhm.
about who you are. Because it's like sometimes people think, and for those of you who are listening, you think, oh, I'm not doing anything to anybody else. It's just me having these problems or whatever. It's like, no, when we're not operating in our purpose, when we're operating very low vibrationally,
Yeah.
we're hurting other
Oh,
people
yes.
because
Yes.
we're not giving them our best.
Yes.
They're worried about us.
And we communicate 55% of our communication is subconscious.
Yeah.
So you're passing your thoughts, your vibration onto the people around you.
Mm.
You don't even have to open your mouth.
You don't. And
Mm-mm.
and they call it Goldman in his research, they call that emotional contagion.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it is. And that's why, even if a practice owner, you're going in and you don't know how to switch, say you had a fight with your husband at home and you're coming in, people know something's off.
Yes, they do. Mhm.
You
I
can
admire I admire the people that always have a smile on their face,
Yeah.
and you can never tell. I admire that. I'm like, because I do wear my expression, my emotion, I wear it, and I'm really trying to. I feel like I've gotten better at emotional mastery.
Mm.
Uh, I'm very clear and very direct, and I can say how I feel and what I'm
Mhm, mhm,
thinking. But I got to be better. Tara, my director of operations,
mhm.
she's so good. She's always just like a duck. She'll be paddling like this underwater, but on top, she's just like, everything's fine.
Yeah, I mean, and that's to be said. I think that's very especially important, especially when you're in a leadership position, because it's like you can't show, especially
Mm-mm.
when you're dealing with hundreds or thousands of employees, even if you're dealing with 10, which is probably more like what people are listening, you can't afford
Mm-mm.
to show them all those different sides, because what happens is that the confidence in the leader and the organization starts to go down if they feel they can't trust that you're going to be an emotional that sounds so corny, bulwark for them.
Yeah, but you're exactly right. They say when a leader speaks, it's as they're speaking from a magnaphone.
Mm.
And so if you're lacking that leadership and that control and that self-control and self-mastery,
Yeah.
it will bleed out into your culture and into your team for sure.
Definitely. And so, like for you, from Fortune, so you're coming up. You met this nurse. Your mother, different people around you, unintentionally, because people hurt others when they don't understand themselves. Were
Yes.
unintentionally or intentionally at certain points hurting you. What did Fortune mean to you back then? Like, what did you imagine Fortune to be when you were a little
Oh,
Yvonne, seven,
yeah.
8, 9 years old?
I remember watching lifestyles of the rich and famous. Like, oh
Mm.
my gosh, that glamorous life. Like I've dreamt of that, right? The
Mhm,
yachts and the planes and the designers and the I loved all the celebrities. They were so beautiful. They never aged. Like I watched Days of Our Lives and Bo and Hope never aged, right? I was totally into that. That vanity. It's always been appealing to me. So it's
yes.
no wonder why I'm in this industry. But when I became a millionaire, it was like you open Christmas presents one day and you're so excited leading up to it, right? You're anticipating, you're wondering, you're shaking it, you want to peek, you want to know what's in it. But then once you get it and you unwrap everything, you play with it for a little bit and then the novelty wears off.
Mm.
And I would have to say that's how it was becoming a millionaire. I was like, oh, it's nothing different.
Yeah.
But what's different is who I have had to become all the growth. I will tell you, I believe business will grow you more than anything. It's like a mirror. It really
Yes.
forces you to look at yourself, your
Mhm.
limiting beliefs, those insecurities, your weaknesses, and I'm still growing and evolving. And I mean, I've had employees come in and out. I learned so much from them. I learn how I could do better the next time.
Mhm.
But business has taught me so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
I'm a
very
different
sure.
person. And now
Mhm.
I'm so fortunate. I'm
Mhm.
so fortunate because I've learned what's truly happening up here.
Yes.
And my life is so beautiful. I'm in love with my life. I
I
love
love that.
every day of my life. And it's
I
not perfect.
Mhm.
Our life is not meant to be. And the more
Mhm.
challenges and trials we have, the more we grow and learn. And
Yes.
I've shared with you, I've been through some really dark corners in my mind and dark places the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Hard things I've had to grow through that I wouldn't change it. I love
Mhm.
the woman I am today. I love how much I love and respect myself today
Mhm.
because I didn't like I do now.
I was listening to Arthur Brooks the other day, and he was like saying, like, when he said have a failure journal. I don't know if you do that. I know you do a lot of journaling.
I do. And that's my journal I created. I'm working on my
Yes.
second journal, but I have his books in my cabinet here.
Yes, and
Yeah.
so I love it. And so for those of you guys who don't know Arthur Brooks, he said have a failure journal. When something that has happened that you think is a failure, write it down, then put 2 or 3 lines underneath it. Come back 3 days later, see how
Mhm.
you feel about it. Come back. I think he said, what was it, a month later? And then
Yeah.
come back 6 months later and be like,
Yeah.
because 6 months later you have enough, what's it,
Perspective.
latitude,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, perspective.
Yeah.
And then you can
I
say, this is what I got because that thing went badly.
Oh, girl, I embrace it. I want more because that you don't grow through comfort.
Yes.
You don't enjoy life through the ease and the comfort. That's actually where I think more anxiety and depression sets
Mhm,
in. When you have nothing to do and you're coasting and you're wandering aimlessly through life,
mhm,
you need what's going to like toughen you up. You need to try as much and experience as much as you possibly can
mhm.
and fail. And to me, it's never failure. It's like I'm figuring it out. I'll figure it out. And that's all of my businesses have been built figuring it out. And I'm still figuring it out today. It's
I
always evolving.
I think you continue to figure it out until you're until the end. It's like it doesn't matter again if someone has 5 employees or they have 2,000 employees. It's like there's a new monster, there's a new level, there's a new thing at every different level. But it's like, how many levels do you want to play at? How many levels do you want to continue to go? But like, I love what you had said about, mindset. It's just like, if you can understand what's going on underneath the hood, you can be happy,
Yeah.
whether your revenue is 500,000 or 15 million or 100 million.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
If you don't learn to master that, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter any of that because you'll be miserable. We know there's been a lot of celebrities that have ended their life. And when on the outside, we're like, oh my gosh, they have it so good. They're beautiful. They have a perfect body. They have the love of their life. They make millions of dollars. They're famous. No,
Mhm.
you have to master this.
Yeah.
That's where the beautiful life comes from. Or you can be a prisoner in your own head. You can
I
have
know.
everything and cannot find any beauty around you.
I know. And so like when you were like working on mindset, at what point in your business building journey did you realize that it was a mindset game that you're like, "Whoa, I need to take a whole damn step back and
Mhm.
the work on what's in here because as they say, as above so below, as within so without, right?" So like
Everything is a mirror reflection. Yeah.
yes, so like tell me more about at what point did you realize that? And like tell me about the transformation that happened.
Yeah, I would say it's like an onion
Mhm.
because relationships have come into my life to expose areas I need to heal and work on. But I've been a big Tony Robbins fan I've learned so much from him and Oprah.
Mhm.
Um, and Tony Robbins has always said, business is a spiritual game. And when I learned that, we are always in the service of others. And
Yes.
when you allow your ego to get in the way, like for example, we had someone that wanted to be a sponsor and be a part of our stage, and they've worked with us in the past, and we love and adore them. They're great, but they've gotten so popular and on demand that now they're like, you should pay us to come to your conference, kind of a thing. And I'm like, oh, I love that confidence, but it doesn't align with us, right? So Tony Robbins always says, create raving fans. You're there in service of others. And I truly believe, Leslie, all of my success is because I followed that. I'm here to serve my students. And that's what the conference, they know how much I love them. And I'm here for them, but they're the ones that talk about me. They're the ones that have built my business because they tell everybody about my training or about my conference. So truly my students have built, because I've put hundreds of thousands of dollars into marketing and never really received an ROI on it. But where it all comes from is word of mouth. And it's because I love them. And Tony has taught me, be so obsessed with your customers. Be so obsessed with them that everything you do is about them. And that's truly, I love my students so much. I will take their call anytime, day or night, on a plane, wherever, in Mexico, boarded up, because I want to serve them. I want to see them succeed. And I got 2 messages within the last month, and both of them are coaching clients. One did 1.7 million her first year in business, and the other one did 1.1. One's a brand new grad nurse practitioner, and one's a nurse with a medical director, and I helped connect her to her medical director. And I just love them both. And that, to me, I would rather them have 1.7 million in their bank than me. I love that I get to be a part of that journey. That's what fulfills me. So when I talk about fortunes, yes, I live a beautiful life and I'm set for life, right? Like I have a retirement, I'm set. But to me, if I can serve others and do for others and treat others and help them, that is where the reward, that's the fortune right there.
And that's the thing, because it's like there was a song that used to sing in church back in the day. It was like, give and it will come back to you. Guys, I'm sorry that I did that. But in any case, so it's just like when you give, and because you give to the universe and you have faith that everything that you put out is going to come back to you. So in business, it's like, I see this whole trend where people it's like, 15-minute appointments. Like how can you connect with your patient in 15 minutes?
Right.
How can you build an ecosystem around them, a proper planned treatment of care in 15 minutes? You cannot. You're lying to people. You're stacking appointments. You're double booking. You're doing all sorts of nonsense because you haven't built trust in your patients to say, these are good people who are going to be in my practice. I don't have to double book them because I know they're coming. Like, it just made bad systems, right?
And we've learned that from healthcare, Leslie. And those are the most miserable healthcare providers and the unhealthiest patients. We learned that, unfortunately, in school. But we don't have to do it that way. We are our own business. We're not accepting insurance. We can change the dynamic of how we do things. And I promise you change that one thing and you will be busy. You'll be busy. You'll have business because people will just keep talking about you. They'll keep sending their friends and family because they wouldn't want them to go anywhere else because the way you make other people feel.
Exactly, that emotional contagion. And so that's something. So if someone's starting, you're kind of giving advice to someone, if someone's like starting their practice and they're looking for their first 5 patients, what would you recommend, that nurse to do?
I love this question. This is so good. Go find 5 people you can serve and don't ever bring up your own business or anything about you. Go give. So what I like to do, this has been so fun for me, is I find a new business in town. I take $100 bill and I go in and I say, okay, we're going to do a giveaway because I want to help support you in your new business. And we're going to do an Instagram giveaway. And we get on our Instagram and we say, hey, the first 5 people get a free or on us. Because this is a new business in town and we're here to support. That to me is so fun. And then you build a relationship and there's nothing in it for you. You're just helping somebody else. But when you naturally help someone, they want to naturally help back. So don't think about what's in it for me. Go out and serve people. Go out and serve. How can I show up? How can I serve? And the thing is, you can't always expect it. It's not going to come back from that same person.
No.
And you can't even expect it to come back in money. But if you have good health, you have happy, healthy relationships, you're surrounded by the most beautiful people.
Mhm.
I mean, what more could you want? So
Exactly.
that I do. I have the most beautiful life. And I will tell you, you've attended the conference, the
Yes.
most beautiful community. These people are fiercely loyal. They will
Mhm.
serve. I mean, I've had the same volunteers. Now, this is our 5th year
That's so
because
great.
they do. They love the community and our group coaching. I mean, I have a physician that's in Canada. He
Mhm.
did a private coaching with me and then he joined the group. They love this group coaching. I had to close it because it was getting so big, but they love it because they serve one another.
Yes.
And then they're all going to come to the conference and we're going to have a panel and some of them are starting to speak. And,
Mhm.
I love to put new people on my stage. I'd love to help them
Mhm.
start their career. So that's what lights me up. That's my why. That's my mission. That's what I'm here
It's a
for.
beautiful thing, and I think people need to think about that because it's like I remember one time I was meeting with a neuro practitioner, and she'd reached out and she was like, "Oh, I'm going to start offering GLP-1s because I'm going to make so much money." And I'm like, "Ooh!" I was like, "We can't work together."
Yeah.
Because I'm not a mindset coach. I should
Right.
have sent her to you. You know what I mean? And then I'm just like, because I'm like, you have the wrong mindset.
Mhm.
You're not thinking about, I'm doing this because I want to
Mhm.
transform people's lives and make them healthier, make them feel better about themselves and gain confidence. You are literally starting with the dollar sign.
Yeah.
And
You
when you
can have
start,
transaction or transformation.
mm,
However, what's your foundation of your business? Is it
yes,
transactional or transformational? Because that
exactly.
energy, you're putting that energy off.
Exactly. And we have to be businesses of transformation in everything that we do.
Mhm.
Because it's like, what look when you go back into the old English, the old English term for sell is selling, and it means actually to give. And so we've had such a negative, going back to mindset, we've had such a
Mhm.
negative relationship with what it means to sell. And
Mhm.
actually, well, I can't remember. As you could tell, I read too much now because I have like 5 million books, like just like you.
I'm
Like,
stacked. I'm stacked by my bed, by my
right? Like on
recliner.
my couch, like
Yeah.
I'm nerding out all the time. It's like, but like, I think I can't remember. Don't quote me on this, guy. So I think it was Dale Carnegie or no, Rockefeller, whatever. They have a shrewd history, but whatever. But he did say, because he grew up very, very poor.
Yeah.
And he was just like, to be poor is actually arrogant and prideful. And I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
And I read more into it, but it's like, when you're poor, you're actually closing off your mind to abundance and
Yeah.
giving to people and giving back your gifts and your energy to the world. And you don't feel that you're good enough to mine and improve or whatever, so that you're doing better things for people to increase your financial value in the world, which
Yes.
means you're doing things for yourself. And I was like, wow, I never thought about it that way.
So I was speaking at the university yesterday on the
Mhm.
nursing program,
Yeah.
and I'm like, how many of you are going into nursing because you want to have a better life for yourself financially too? Like, I don't think there's anything wrong. I think because I did this right for the longest time, I was driven for money, and I had the most resistance in my life and in my body.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
if that's your sole driver, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
But when you learn to have transformation with what you're doing, then it's there, you won't have that resistance. So
Hmm.
when I said that, I said, listen, there's no shame in having abundance or having a lot of money because
Hmm.
you have more resources when you look at it as a tool,
Yep.
because it's going to expand your soul, your journey, all of that. It's the energy around it,
Yes.
because you will never have the millions of dollars if your soul isn't open to the expansion of it.
Yes.
And if all you're focused on is the transaction, it's going to be very, very hard and you will get burnt out
Hmm.
very quickly. There's so
Yes.
much resistance because it really doesn't align with your soul. Our souls are not sent here just to make money.
No, and it's just like it's almost like you have to like learn like life is a game, and it's just like fun, and it's just like you're never
Exactly.
attached to the
Yes.
outcome, and I think so many people go into business like attached to the outcome, and it's just like I would say if you don't have any sort of capital, if you have don't do it because you're going to be operating from a scarcity mindset, and it's not going to help you, right? And so like going back to like Medical Aesthetic Art Institute, so you guys kind of really blend injector training, obviously mentorship, like business education. So can you like talk a little bit more about that intersection of like strong training and like safety culture, and
Yeah.
like how does that increase a practice's brand equity over time, patient trust, potential valuation by having a strong or investing in strong training and safety culture? Tell me more about that.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. So the whole reason why Medical Aesthetic Art Institute exists is because I wanted to create a training program that lacked what I got, right? So I think a lot of us do, we want to give what we never got.
Yeah.
And I never went out and was like, oh, what's that program doing? What's that? No, it was never about that. It was, what does the student need?
Yeah.
And so we started the comprehensive course. And then what I would do is I would let the students come back a second time for free because they learned so much. We know that the brain can only digest 20% of what they're getting that day. So they pay $3,000 for the course. They get to come a second time as an intern. And then I mentor them. So I do all my mentoring free. It's included in the course. And we do it through the Marco Polo app. And what you do, it's a free app, you download it and you send me your messages. So that's how, and we build beautiful relationships because we spend so much time. And my most successful students actually take advantage of the free mentoring because I'm like right there in their ear. So it's just this free app and they just send me all their messages and I literally answer them. I tell them within 24 to 48 hours, I'm pretty on top of it. And that's included. And then I bring them back to the conference, right? So I'm very hands-on. I practically spoon feed my students, but they get jobs. They're very successful because they can have a mentor at their fingertips.
Yes.
So that has been very beneficial and it has separated us from others because others, just like kind of what I got, is you get trained and then you're goodbye, right? Like, and I trained for other companies too. And that's how they would do it. There was no support after.
Yes.
So mine get a thick manual so they can refer back to the manual.
Nice.
Then they get the mentoring and then they have communities. So we have our own app. And so once they take a training, they can go to the app and then they just message and then it's a group so everybody can join in. And whether you've taken a training with us or not, you're invited into the community. So our foundation is course and we only teach beginner. We've done away with intermediate and advanced. And the reason being is we get a lot of people that were like, oh, I want to bypass the beginner because I'm such a good nurse. And I just want to go intermediate or advanced. And I was like, it doesn't work that way. Or they would take their beginner course somewhere else and try to come do an advanced with me. And I end up having to retrain them. Wow. So I just quit. I only do beginner course. That's our specialty. That's our niche. So they come in through the comprehensive course. If they're a nurse practitioner, we really encourage them to be a medical director. We created the medical director program. Yes. And we teach them how to legally, ethically be medical directors. And then they can come, they get the mentoring, but if they want business coaching to really like step by step go from your first year to $1 million, you join the coaching. And then the conference. So it's courses, coaching, conference, which builds our community.
Yes.
So where community is our number one. It's our love. It's our foundation. We're a community.
And I love that because these people tend to feel like so alone, especially when they're starting. And like when they know that they have other people like running the race beside them, I think that's like one of the best things that you can do. And, and what I want to kind of touch on, like the last thing here, with the coaching, mentorship, like women's empowerment, it's like, what are the common patterns you see in women who are transforming through your programs? Like if you could like even just tell us like one story from someone who came from scarcity, then they went to survival, and then they went to abundance, and how that showed up for them.
Yeah, one of my coaching clients, she's like, when she started with my coaching, she's like, I don't even feel like I'm a real business owner. And so what we have to do is we have to get to the bottom of that. Yeah. Because your perspective of yourself or your self-image, and everything goes back to identity. Yes. Your self-image doesn't match your blueprint. So in your mind, what is a real business owner? And so after we went through the coaching and she hit her 1.1, she came back and she's like, I feel like a business owner, a real legit business owner. So I do a lot of identity work with them. And so even if you're not in medical aesthetics, and if in my women's empowerment, my women's conference, it's for all women, not just in aesthetics. When you see them get that aha, where it's like, I've been standing in my own way because I didn't think I was capable. It's even like my bookkeeper. I coached her through how to start her bookkeeping business. Then I hired her as my bookkeeper, and now all of our students are using her. And she had a goal to retire her husband. And I'm like, That's so possible." But it's almost like she needed permission. She needed it to see it was possible by seeing what another woman has done. And so for me as their coach, I'm like, "You guys, I grew up on food stamps." And I mean, she knows me because she's married to my cousin, but she knows my upbringing. She knows where my siblings are. She knows everyone lives paycheck to paycheck. They're still in the system. They're, still getting assistance, or they're still getting help, and they're in debt. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be that way. But we didn't know any other way. And I think what helped me is I latched onto books. I latched onto Tony Robbins and Zig Ziglar and, all of these people, and just listen over and over, like Earl Nightingale, and, and now I'm reading Dale Carnegie speaking books, and I'm constantly ingesting new knowledge, because the more you learn, the more you earn. And then again, yes, we always want to be earning more for generational wealth, but my main focus is impact. If I can help someone the way Susan Molman helped me, and it helps generations, because she doesn't even realize she's in my book. I speak from her on stages. She doesn't even realize
Is she
that.
still alive?
Yes, I found her. I got her address. I'm going to take her a book. Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. I mean, it's like, but I think that's the biggest thing, though. It's like, when you're creating your business, you're able to create something, and you're able to leave something better for the people around you. And I think that's a true purpose of business and growth, because we're out of here, in 75 to 80, 90 years. We're out of here.
Yep. Somebody else is going to be driving your car, living in your house. Yeah. And I wake up with that thought in my head every single day. I'm going to die.
Yeah.
I want to live so happy and abundant. And that's what I do. I love my life because it's a choice. I wake up with that choice every day.
Yes.
And I love it. And no one dictates, no one labels me. I don't accept it anymore. I don't accept their limiting beliefs. I don't accept their insecurities. I don't accept their judgment of me. I could care less. Their judgment is only a reflection of them.
Yes. It.
Has nothing to do with me.
Has nothing to do. And I think it's the big thing that any of our listeners, when you guys are listening to this, to take away, it's just like, continue to increase your capacity. And when you increase your capacity, when people are doing things that are, they have less capacity, you're going to be able to hold it, because you're just like, wow, I was there at one point. I'm not even mad at you. Like, you don't see things in a bigger way yet. You don't have the capacity, and it's okay. And I think that's the big thing. And that's how you can kind of go through life, not judging people.
Yes.
Because it's like, sometimes we go through life, we judge people, in this industry. I've experienced it in the past. I'm not in the mix anymore, but it's just like, people talk about people, this and that. And it's just like, it's a capacity thing.
Yeah. Once you're more self-aware and more mindful of yourself, and you're awakened and you've peeled back those layers, you just can give people grace and meet them where they're at, and be like, you know what? I'm going to meet you where you're at. I'm not going to take any of that, because I'm very protective of my energy and what I allow in. And I've learned to shield and deflect. And I really just love who I am and who I'm becoming. I don't want anything to taint it. I will not allow it anymore. I won't tolerate it.
Exactly. Because you have to protect, like you said, your energy, your inner circle, and it's sacred. Friendship. And the one thing I'll say, the word friendship is so sacred.
Yeah.
I think we've taken it so loosely. We say, oh, I had lunch with this person one time, they're my friend. No, I could be better friends with someone where we align with the same values. We talk once, twice a year, and I could be better friends with that person than someone that I'm seeing every week, but our values are aligned. Where we're going is not aligned because we're not agreed, right? So I think friendship has taken on this I don't know, girly pop vibe
Mhm.
that it's just not true. Your
Right.
your
Yeah.
friends are the people who share similar values, share similar views of the future, and they share similar amounts of capacity.
Yeah. A friend for me is going to call me out on my bullshit or my blind
That
spot.
part.
Be like, girl, I
Mhm.
love you so much. For why are you settling? I mean, and you've even had these conversations with
Girl, we've had
them.
them.
And for me, that I value that. I value, tell me when I'm getting in my own way, because you better believe I'm going to do that for you.
Oh, hell yeah, you do. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. And I'm very direct. I'm very clear. I will speak my mind. Don't,
Mhm.
again, if it's not for you, don't take it. You're not going to hurt my feelings. But I want to always speak life into people,
Yes.
their potential. And I had to grieve it. I had to go through everything I was going through on my own time to get it here took me a
Mhm.
long time, but I did get it. And thank you for extending grace and love and supporting me. But we're all going to go through things.
All of us.
And to me, like a real friend is going to have a hard conversation where it's like, did you mean to make me feel that way? Or did you mean, instead of being like just disappearing from my life, be like, can we have a conversation?
Mhm.
How you're showing up, I'm not feeling that you value our friendship. I
Mhm.
appreciate that versus just not taking my phone call anymore. I'm always striving. I have very high standards and I'm
Mhm.
always striving for better.
Yes.
And I know that's hard for people because I've had a lot of friends fall off
Yeah.
because I have such high standards and I push myself to be the best version I can, but I'm happy about it. But I just don't, to me, I think living a mediocre life because of my upbringing,
Mhm.
that to me is ick. I re I really struggle with that. I really do. I really do. Because people will say they want something,
Mhm.
but oftentimes they'll settle for mediocrity.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just don't tolerate that.
And there's nothing wrong with that because again, it goes back to the I always go into the Bible, even though I'm not even religious anymore. But can two walk together unless they be agreed?
Yes,
No, you can't. You
right.
can't run a company together with someone for the long term unless you're agreed. You can't build a
Exactly.
great marriage with someone
Mhm.
unless you were agreed. You,
Right.
it's all about agreement.
And energetically, they'll fall off. If you're vibrating really high on a high frequency and they're
Mhm.
vibrating low, you're not even in the same playing lane. Like,
Yeah.
you're not even in the same field. The universe will naturally, they'll fall away.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you're growing. And it's not that you're better than anyone, but
No.
you're more awakened, you're more aware, you're like what matters like universally
Yes.
than and then down here complaining and picking your life apart and being unhealthy and being poison and being toxic and talking about people like
Mhm. It doesn't do anything.
they just will not align. It will not work.
They won't. It's like, the last thing we'll leave this on is like, I really love it's like Natalie Dawson talks about. She's like, if what you're doing right now does not support the person that you want to be in 10
Mm.
years, cut it out. Stop doing it. And it's like, girl, you and I gotta talk offline. But I've even, things happen. I'm like, ooh, that doesn't support Leslie in 10
Mhm.
years.
Mhm.
So it gotta go.
Yeah.
Gotta cut it off.
And it's not always easy to cut off because
Girl.
oftentimes there's an inner wound or inner trigger that needs healing and addressing. It's
Mhm.
like, why do I keep attracting this into my life?
Yes.
Okay, I gotta heal. I gotta visit that. I
Mm.
gotta go do some work.
All the CBT, all the
Yeah.
therapies, all the things.
Yes.
Love
But you
it.
gotta love the process
You got
and
to.
quit being so hard on yourself.
Mhm.
Love your freaking life. We're meant to
Yes,
be enjoying it.
we are. And, if you could tell our listeners, leave them with this one last thing. The move to make it the next 90 days in each category: mindset, so how they talk to themselves
Mm.
and dream; operations, looking at their systems and trying to be more process oriented; and leadership, maybe about a boundary they need to have. So if you want to start with mindset, give us a nugget. How should we talk to ourselves and dream?
Ooh, that's one of the first books, Shad Helmstetter, I think is How You Speak to Yourself.
Yeah.
The book I have my coaching clients read. Your words are either white magic or black magic. You can also read the book The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Fantastic. Your words, you are manifesting your life. If your words can make you ill, your words can make you healthy. Everything, the word, it goes back to the Bible, the power of the tongue. Like your words are creating. We are creators. So you're speaking life or death, whatever you're speaking.
Yeah.
It's in my book, I write pixie dust or poison, right? Your energy, your essence, who you are, how you show up. In business, your question about business, mindset for business, learn to become a leader. There's so many good books. John Maxwell, fabulous. Tony Robbins, learn to become a leader because you're going to learn and grow. Not everybody's meant to be a leader. You got a lot of followers. They need to be told what to do. That's their calling in life. They want to just, they're in a different place than you are. You're meant to be a leader. You got to lead. You got to teach them. And I'm learning how to work with different personalities and this younger population because I am so direct. I get people crying sometimes. I'm like, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm just being direct. This is how I want it done.
Yes.
This is what I expect. And Brene Brown says being clear is kind.
Yes.
So learn from these amazing leaders. So Brene Brown, Gary Vee has great content, Alex Hormozy, and then the one, Simon Sinek has great content. Well, learn to be a really great leader. And you're never going to be perfect. Just keep learning and then take every experience that's painful and learn how you can grow from it and do better. And then the third one was
like just leadership, like about boundaries, even in that kind of leadership. So we had mindset, operations, leadership.
Yeah. If you don't know who you are, you will not have boundaries, period. The more you know and love yourself, and I'm not saying just love it's a knowing, it's an embodying, it's to your core. When you know and love yourself, the taller you'll stand and the brighter you'll shine. You will not tolerate. It's very easy to set boundaries when you love and respect yourself.
100%.
But you need to check in with your nervous system.
Yes.
If you get anxious, anxiety, fear, your body is always communicating. I say your emotions are coming from your spiritual being because you're a spirit having a human experience. Your spirit is your emotions. It's telling you you're out of alignment.
Yeah.
Your nervous system is telling you when something's not right through anxiety, heart racing, all of that, right? So you really have to know yourself.
Yes.
And when you know, you're like, yeah, I don't like how this feels. I don't like how that person's speaking to me. Just shut it down. You do not have to accept that energy.
Yeah. And I love those things. So, I mean, yeah. And so I think this is so great, guys. So guys, if you haven't gotten her book, From Food Stamps to Fortune, is available on Amazon. And I also believe it's on your website, right?
Yeah. It's on our website. It's on Amazon. This is what it looks like.
It's a beautiful book. And then also you have your journals, the mindset journals, everything about Yvonne's going to be in the show notes. So also take advantage of her community. There's a couple of you that I've talked to in the past few weeks. I'm just going to have to send some emails because it's like, you have to work before you run, you got to crawl, and you need a community. And I think this would be a great resource for you guys. So yeah, so mindset coaching, My Aesthetic Summit, you have all these things coming up. And when's the summit again? August?
We moved it to September over my birthday weekend. So yeah.
So that's so awesome.
We're going to do life celebration on Friday as our welcome reception.
Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, so everything will be in the show notes, guys. So thank you so much, Yvonne, for your time.
Thank you. I love you, my friend. Thank you so much.
Too.
Bye.
Bye.
Want more clarity like this? Join the Branded Practice newsletter community. I write about strategy, systems, and brand leadership straight to your inbox. Go to diamondhandsmedia.com to sign up. And if this episode hit, share it with someone still building without a brand. This is the Diamond Hands Podcast. Thanks for listening. Now go lead.